Hi everyone, welcome back and I hope you are doing well. In today's video I'm gonna try to demonstrate how you can be a little bit more creative with your vocal and how to place your vocal into the stage and give that space for it. Most of the time we use reverb to place the vocal into, desired room. And sometimes you want that reverb to be really luscious and to be present and audible. But doing that, it pushes the vocal back. Too much reverb and you push the vocal back and it's no longer intimate, especially if it's a slow ballad song like the one you're hearing in the background. Okay, so how do we achieve this? Now, I've done a video in the past demonstrating how you can use a reverb and then after the reverb insert a compressor with a sidechain that is triggered by the vocal. So every time the vocal comes on, the compressor comes on, thus reducing the amount of reverb that's heard. But as soon as the vocal stops singing, the reverb comes up. I will leave a card at the top corner here. You'll be able to view that one. It's pretty old, but still relevant. That's really great if you've got moderate or fast song. But for slow ballad songs like this one, which is 66 beats per minute, there's an alternative way, and I think maybe a little bit better way to give the vocal a lot more luscious but still give that space and vocals still stand out at the front. So let's have a quick listen and what I have achieved, and I'll then go through and demonstrate it for you.
Take it to the moon. I'll be exploring lunar craters very soon. Going fast like a laser beam. New place to test run all of my crazy dreams. Gave myself a brand new start. Making new decisions under every star. 'Cause I'm going to the moon. I am leaving to the moon.
So how did I achieve this? Well, stick around and I'll demonstrate how I've done that in Cakewalk by BandLab, but you can do the same thing in any digital audio workstation or DAW. For today's demonstration, I'm going to be using a song called Going to the Moon by Ricky Legend. It's a great example because it's a very slow tempo song and we can use his vocal for the demonstration. Let's have a look at the vocal track. There's not much on the vocal track. I haven't really mixed it. As you can see, there's no plugins or anything. I've just done a static mix for this demonstration. So but we are concentrating on the vocal. The vocal, I have used the Pro channel to fix a few things up. And I'm using the 1176 style compressor, 12:1 ratio. And the vocal is a little bit boomy because it is such a close and intimate recording. You get the proximity effect, and hence that's why I'm using a little bit of EQ to tame the low end and brighten it up at the top end. And then I'm following up with an effects chain. In my effects chain, I have TDR Nova. Again, I'm dynamic compressing or EQing the low end as well a little bit of the high end because of sibilance. And I'm also finally adding to the track sibilance by wave, but you don't really have to. You can use any sibilance controller. You can use just any compressor as well. You can still even use TDR Nova, just enabling the high frequency as a dynamic EQ. We achieve the same result. So let's have a listen to the vocal by itself. And let's turn off all the effects.
Looking around the world to find my very own place. Can't seem to fit in or belong with anyone else. I am leaving to the moon.
The EQ is on. Let's turn it off.
I hope to see you
Really deep.
soon. Because I'm going to the moon. My gut keeps telling me when you're done, get out of here. The world gets smaller after several
So we got that sibilance.
years.
That's why
Whoa.
wave sibilance
Don't
will...
you know the time's against us? A ticking clock cannot replace us. It's time to say goodbye and get dressed. I'm going to the moon. I am leaving to the moon.
Great. So the way I've achieved a great reverb, at the same time keeping the vocal up close and personal, is I'm using 2 reverbs. Of course, there's nothing stopping you to use 2 reverbs. I see a lot of people, especially beginners, just use one type of reverb. But you can be creative and use 2 reverbs. This is not something new. This is not something I just came up with. This is very, very common in mixing stages to use multiple reverbs for either vocal or any instrument. In this case, I'm using 2 reverbs. And I'm just using the stock standard reverb that comes with Cakewalk, Sonatus. This is my first one. Spin that in. And then this is my second one. They're not the same. They have different values. One is a small room. You can see it's 36. And so the decay is very quick. So it dies down very, very quickly. Where my second one is a larger room and has a long decay as well. This way I've got strong reverb that's coming through and then a long one underneath it. And one other thing difference between the first one, reverb or verb A, Vox verb A, is that I also have pre-delay, about 73, thereabouts. I find it brings out. That means this reverb won't start until 73 milliseconds after the audio is there. So that gives the upfront sound, where in the longer one, bigger room delay, there is no pre-delay. It starts right at the bottom, but it is at sort of a lower level. So let's have a listen with the reverb A.
Looking around the world to find my very own place. Can't seem to fit in or belong with anyone else. And my dreams become unclear, trapped inside this atmosphere.
Now, as you can hear, the first reverb really puts the vocal in a small room, intimate, but it gives some dimension to it. Where when we do listen to the second one now, which is lower and underneath, but it is longer, so it gives that space.
Looking around the world to find my very own place. Can't seem to fit in or belong with anyone else. And my dreams become unclear, trapped inside this atmosphere. I'll let you know that by tomorrow I'll be gone.
Let's combine.
I'm going to the moon. I am leaving to the moon. I hope to see you soon.
As you can hear, we've got that close, intimate reverb that is short, and then the long one underneath, it giving that space and the room that the vocal needs. Plus, on top of that, I've added just a delay. Let me show you what the delay settings are. Again, the stock plugin that comes with Cakewalk, Sonatus. Again, you can use any delay plugin. I like the Sonatus one because it allows you to have different settings for the left and the right, and you can sync it to the tempo or off the tempo. And in this case, I'm not syncing to the tempo. I'm actually using values, where one of them is 496 milliseconds, the other one is 502 to the right. And this gives a completely different delay time for the left and the right. Let's have a listen.
Looking around the world to find my very own place. Can't seem to fit in or belong with anyone else. And my dreams become unclear, trapped inside this atmosphere. I'll let you know that by tomorrow I'll be gone. I'm going to the moon. I am leaving to the moon.
Okay, a few things that you have just watched me do is I changed the feedback on the left one as well, because that was becoming a little bit more prominent because it is shorter delay time. So less feedback, so it balances everything out. At the same time, I've also done the frequency filtering. So anything below 195 hertz is not in the delay, as well as 2.6 kilohertz. This way, the S's and high sibilants don't repeat, and it just repeats just the intelligent part of the audio. So let's have a listen all together.
Looking around the world to find my very own place. Can't seem to fit in or belong with anyone else. And my dreams become unclear, trapped inside this atmosphere. I'll let you know that by tomorrow I'll be gone. I'm going to the moon.
That's raw.
I am leaving to the moon. I hope to see you soon.
Let's combine all together.
'Cause I'm going to the moon. My gut keeps telling me when you're done, get out of here. The world gets smaller after several lonely years. Don't you know the time's against us? A ticking clock cannot replace us. It's time to say goodbye and get dressed. I'm going to the moon.
Well, I hope this demonstration was helpful. Of course, you can try different varieties of reverbs. You know, it's all experimental, and anything that sounds great in your ears and you are happy with it, you know, you can go for it. You know, you can even use a third reverb for different effects. You know, a lot of the time, multiple reverbs are used especially in software-wise. There's not much limitations, and you can direct different instruments to those reverbs as well that glue the whole thing together. So don't be afraid to use that. And if this video was helpful and you learned something that you didn't know, or it revised your memory about using different reverbs for vocal or different instruments, as well as the delay, you know, especially with the delay, a lot of the times I don't try to sync to the tempo. I try to get the delay time close to it. That way it gives more, becomes more organic rather than just directly linked to the tempo of the song. It gives more dimension, and using different delay times for the left and the right, it throws the delay to the left and right and allows and gives room for the main vocal to be right in the middle. If it was helpful, make sure you give me the thumbs up, share, and consider subscribing. And I'll catch you in the next one. Maybe on the moon.